The next 4 weeks is make or break for Tottenham. This is it. We're either going to stay in the Premier League and kick on and hopefully get a top 10 finish, or we could actually go down. Igor Tudor will be the manager going forward between now and June, and his first game is a North London derby against Arsenal, followed by Fulham away. Those fixtures between the 22nd of February and the 22nd of March are massive. They're absolutely massive for the future of this football club. And I mean that with absolutely everything. If we do not kick on in those 4 weeks, in the 5 fixtures we have to play, plus 2 in the Champions League, we actually could go down. We have to come together now. Igor Tudor has to galvanise this fan base, show a bit of love to these players, and try to get something out of an already depleted squad. We have got injuries left, right, and centre. Players dropping like flies. But if there is one match that everyone can get behind the team, the fan base can support the players, the fan base won't be at each other's necks and divided. If there is one game in where we can turn everything around this season, it's the North London derby. And yes, there's talk of Arsenal doing the quadruple. Yes, they're top of the Premier League. Yes, they finished in the top of the Champions League and they're in the next round of the FA Cup. But in 90 minutes, anything can happen. They've turned up to our ground with Robert Pires, with Thierry Henry, with Dennis Bergkamp, with Patrick Vieira, with world-class talent when they won the league and they drew 2-2 and they didn't beat us. What I'm saying is the next 4 weeks between this Sunday, between February the 22nd and March 22nd, it is everything for this season. Forget what's happened in the past. We can only change what's going forward. And we absolutely have to stay in the Premier League. Because relegation, when you look at what other teams have got to play, when you look at who they're playing against, it's a scary thought that we could be in the Championship next season. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you let me know your thoughts on these fixtures coming up, because for me, it is make or break for this football club. It really, really is. Let me know your thoughts. We've hit 1,000 likes, 200, 300, 500, 700 likes on videos. So make sure you go down, drop a like, go down and hit that subscribe button. We are very, very close to hitting 12,000 subscribers. So if you enjoy the content and you haven't already, yes, you I'm talking to, go down and hit that subscribe button. I think as it stands, we're less than 25 away from 12,000. Now, this is the run of games I want to talk to you guys about, and I want to share my thoughts. I want to get your thoughts down in the comments, because this run of games it's everything, isn't it? 5 games, 3 of them at home, a North London derby, a trip to Anfield, a trip to Craven Cottage, Palace, and Forest. Now, what's worth noting is we haven't beaten Arsenal at our home ground in, I think, 3 or 4 games. Fulham have the 8th, I think it's the 8th or the 6th best home record in the Premier League. So that isn't going to be an easy fixture. As it stands, they're ranked 8th in the home chart this season. Crystal Palace is a 6-pointer. It really, really is. Crystal Palace aren't on the best of form going into this weekend. They've won 1 of their last 5 games. But fortunately for them, they are playing Wolves this Sunday. What's also difficult for them is by the time they play us, which will be our 3rd game in this stint, Crystal Palace would have played Conference League this Thursday, Wolves, Conference League again, Manchester United, and then us. So there is no excuse why we can't go and beat that Crystal Palace side, knowing the fact that they would play 2 extra games than us in quick succession. Then we play Liverpool away. And I don't remember the last time we won at Anfield. I really, really don't. So many times we've played them, so many times we've turned up to Anfield and it just hasn't gone for us. And then we play Nottingham Forest, who will have their new manager in by then, who has been announced, and his first game this weekend, which they're in the relegation fight just as much as we are. Their first game is Liverpool at home, and then they play Brighton away. I honestly believe that if we come together as a squad and the fan base are behind Igor Tudor, we can get something against Arsenal. And you lot are probably thinking, Henry, what have you been smoking? Henry, you are talking absolute nonsense. I personally believe the form goes out the window and it's a derby, so anything can happen. Arsenal should beat us because they are by far a better side. That being said, it's still a derby. Now, I want to give you a hypothetical scenario. If hypothetically we lose to Arsenal, I do not believe in the slightest that we will lose. Well, sorry. If we lose to Arsenal, I do not believe in the slightest we go and beat Fulham. Which then means if that scenario happens, the game against Crystal Palace, we could be in the bottom three if that scenario happens. Because West Ham are actually in a decent bit of form and have only lost one of their last 5 games. One at the weekend against Burton, drew with Man United, beat Burnley, beat Sunderland, beat us, beat QPR, narrowly lost to Chelsea. They have got to play at the weekend Bournemouth. Now, that game for them is actually at home. So I do expect West Ham to beat Bournemouth. I'm not going to lie to you, I think they will. Then they play this run of games. I don't expect them to get any points. I think they could lose comfortably all 4 games. But if they pick up points and we don't, we really are in the shit. Like, there's no point beating around the bush. There's no point trying to nice it. If we don't win 2 out of the next 5 games, we really are in the shit. And then you look at Leeds United's games. Well, I would argue their games are a lot easier than ours. Yes, they play Aston Villa, and yes, they play City. But they play Sunderland at home, they play Brentford at home, and they've got Palace away. Now, they're actually on a decent bit of run of form because they beat Forest. They went from 2-0 down at Chelsea and won, and they knocked Birmingham out of the FA Cup on penalties. Now, when I look at these run of games, if we don't match or better the teams below us, then I honestly, we could go down. I mean, let me bring out the Tottenham fit. And then when you look at the fixture we've got after that, so after we play Nottingham Forest, we've got to go to Sunderland away. We've got to go to Brighton, or Brighton to come to us. And then these fixtures here are horrendous. We play Chelsea away. We play Wolves away. We haven't beaten Wolves in 6 games. We play Aston Villa away. And the Leeds United game genuinely could be a 6-pointer. In the relegation battle now, we play Leeds, who are down there with us. We play Crystal Palace, who are down there with us. And we play Nottingham Forest, who are also down there with us. This isn't a joke anymore. This is the reality of the situation at hand. And as it stands, we're 5 points above relegation. With Nottingham Forest 2 points below us. Leeds United are above us. Brighton are above us. And so are Crystal Palace. Now, hopefully, we get a new manager bounce from Igor Tudor. Because if we don't get the right result, if we do not get a solid amount of points, for me, I really, really worry for the long-term future of this football club. Like, I really, really do. I don't trust this board if we go down to bring us straight back up. Equally, if Igor Tudor comes in and gets a good run of results together, we can quite easily climb this table because there is only 7 points between us and Newcastle. And there's only 11 points between us and Brentford. If we go on one hell of a run, let's say we get a draw against Arsenal, but then we go and beat Fulham, we beat Palace, lose to Liverpool, and we beat Forest, Sunderland, and Brighton. That could happen. That isn't out of the realms of possibility when it comes to this football club due to how bad, how inconsistent we are. But for me, I honestly believe that when I look at what Tottenham are capable of, no one said we would get the right result against Manchester City. Everyone said we would draw. No one said we were good enough. Everyone said, Henry, you're talking absolute nonsense. You haven't got a clue what you're talking about. And then we go out there and we should have beaten City. Let's have it right. We should have beaten Man City. We come away with huge chances in a squad that was absolutely decimated. We played this team. Now, excuse me, when I look at the predicted 11 for the Arsenal game, and bearing in mind, during that time, they've played an FA Cup game and they have played against, they would have played against Brentford and Wolves. Look at the amount of players we have got out injured or suspended. Odegaard, Rodrigo Bentancur, Richarlison, Porro, Kudus, that's 5. Bergvall 6, Danso 7, Maddison 8, Udogie 9, Kulusevski 10, Davis 11, Romero suspended 12. That is an entire 11 and one substitute of players that are out injured. Let me know your thoughts. What do you make of the next 4 weeks for us? Do you think we've got it to go and get a run of form and actually push on to the top 10 of this Premier League table? Because if we don't, trust me when I say this, it is going to be painful for us. It really, really is. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you soon.